Hello, sisters. Welcome. This is Jonita D'souza, your feminine lifestylist, and I think I'm live. I'm going to double check. Welcome. Welcome to the dark moon in Cancer transmission. I'm going to be sharing some beautiful Cancer energies that are available for us, and also I am going to be doing a live oracle reading for those present here. And before that, I'm going to check if I'm really live, like live for real. Yes, I am. I can see. Um, I am. Just give me one moment. Okay, so if you're watching, can you please tell me, let me know if the audio is clear, if you can hear me well, and I am not seeing any comments, but hopefully you can hear me well. So I am curious if you are somebody who works with the dark moon energies or not. So please share with me if you are watching now, or if you will be watching in the replay. Is it the first time? It's always good to know, that makes me understand how much I have to explain, and how to navigate our time together. So if it is your first time you are working with the dark moon energies, or you've been doing that, and here you are again, because we get this opportunity every lunar cycle to work with the dark moon phase, the special phase of the moon cycle, which is not very known. And in our time together, we will, well, it's not very known, and it's underutilized, I would say. And this is the time that we women specifically, we feel a lot of emotions and related to our dark feminine energies. So we will indulge together in some contemplation and reflection of our dark feminine energies that is present, and the energies of the Cancer moon in itself, because these they work together. And I will also offer an oracle reading towards the end. Catherine, hi sister, lovely to see you here. So yeah, so I am curious, if it is your first time working with the dark moon phase, and some curiosity brought you here, or this is something that is as regular as new moon intention setting for you. And yeah, so please drop that in the comments if you're watching now, or if you will be watching the replay. And here's the thing that I want to say about astrology is that these cosmic energies are very much present, so it depends on ourselves on how much we want to utilize it or not. And each lunar cycle we are presented with a new energy, a new set of energies, and we have our own set of energies, our internal system, emotional system, that is dealing with certain dark emotions during this time of the lunar cycle. And then we have the external energies, the cosmic energies that are present. And with the dark emotions, I like to say that these are like intense emotions, and quite a few come up. Most of the times they are repeated emotions. We get to know, like, oh, here I go, I get to feel this again. And many times it's a new emotion. So choice is ours. I see it as an opportunity to listen to what cosmic energies are present, and what the universe in itself is telling me to focus on particularly. rather than feeling overwhelmed or confused in the intention setting and manifesting process. And it's very important to utilize this time of the lunar cycle before we go into the new moon intention setting, to to look into some of these dark moon, dark feminine energies, so that when we go to intention setting, then we are clear with what is it that we need to release in order to create space for something that we wish to manifest, create in the coming lunar cycle. So if you're joining, please let me know if this is something, the dark moon phase, something that you are working with, or something that you are beginning to work with. And also let me know, I'm curious to hear, how are you feeling? What is present? Are you noticing any kind of emotional upsurge during this time? So whatever I will be sharing with you today, I invite you to feel into it. Listen honestly, not to myself, but to yourself, because you're doing this for you and not for me. So feel into it really honestly and see if this is something that is true, or is it resonating. And then, a lot of the work here is about becoming a witness. So the dark feminine energies mostly require us to become a witness. And when we do that, it stops being that heaviness, and new perspectives begin to open should we go into the witness consciousness. And by witness consciousness, I mean that you are simply, you are not responding to your emotions, but you are simply looking at it from a non-judgmental perspective and just observing. When you allow yourself that space from time to time, then you'd receive new perspectives on the repeated patterns that you notice in your life, in your emotions as well, specifically. So I want to begin by sharing, or just touching a little bit about, I'm not able to see any comments, and I don't know if this is something that you are feeling shy to type in, or is this my internet, or the live itself. Okay, so I want to touch a little bit about the difference between the dark moon and the new moon. And what I see very often here is um, these two terms being used interchangeably, and that's not quite right, or well defined, or that's not, it doesn't give justice, because each of the phase of the lunar cycle holds its own importance and its own ways of. Hey Seema, lovely to see you here. Good evening, sister. So each lunar cycle, each phase of the lunar cycle has its own importance and has its own way of reflecting, showing us the mirror, because we mirror the moon cycle. And so the dark moon in itself is pretty much the time, which is the period which is 1 to 3 days before the new moon. And this is a time where the moon is completely not visible in the sky. And this is the marking between the end of the waning moon and the beginning of the new moon phase, the new lunar phase. So we have literally 2-3 days right before the new moon. So the new moon in Cancer happens to be on the 9th, and so we are right now in the phase of the dark moon cycle, dark moon phase. And new moon is pretty much the middle point between the waning and the waxing phases. So it is also a 3 days window. Dark moon, I believe, is one of the most underutilized phases of the lunar cycle. We simply jump into the new moon to set intentions. And in the spiritual development space, they talk about, oh, it's new moon, it's time to set intentions, write down the whole list of intentions that you want to manifest for the lunar cycle. And please tell me honestly if you've been doing that time and time after again, and feeling like, okay, I've been setting intentions since years, and I don't see much moving, or I don't see much receiving. At least that was my case, and I have heard this from many women that I've worked with as well. So what we do is we just jump into the new moon and we start setting intentions without fully creating space to tackle the things, the elements that are lying underneath the depth of our psyche. And the dark moon phase in itself is a very reverent um, time of the lunar cycle, since several ancient feminine mysteries. And it is the time, for example, which is the dormant seed under the winter snow, yeah, or the cocoon that is holding the butterfly. So for something new to emerge, we have to create some space. We have to create some void, and that's what the dark moon phase invites us to look into. So it is very obvious for you to feel tired or even crave solitude, and a lot of women also bleed during this time of the lunar cycle. So let me know if this is added um, benefit or advantage, I would say, when you are bleeding with the new moon or the dark moon phase. So it becomes kind of easy to work the cycle, your inner moon cycle as well. So like this, the cycle of life, like the death, the birth, and the rebirth. So the dark moon is the that phase, and we can choose to make space for this phase, or we can or we don't. So it is our choice. And when we don't, what we will notice is a lot of emotional patterns repeating in our life month after month. So I want to also ask here, um, yeah, lunar cycle is new. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you are in for a ride, sister. You stepped into the world of feminine mysteries, so welcome, Seema. So, what is your relationship with your dark feminine energy? And one of the ways you can observe that is by actually looking into your emotions a couple of days before the new moon, which and also a couple of days before your periods. So usually this is the time when we really experience dense emotions, and sometimes there is a lot of anger that comes in our head, and emotionally, like, we can feel tired or resentful, or we can just have outbursts of some emotions, and then we would feel weird, like, oh my god, did I really overreact? Yeah. So notice once again, r- approach these emotions from the eye of curiosity. Do not judge or fear, but from the eyes of curiosity. Because your dark feminine energy is pretty much this unconscious part of your feminine energy, and it is nothing bad. It is simply the unconscious part wanting to become wanting to become conscious, and which is why I invite you to go into the witness consciousness. So practicing non-judgment is a very important aspect of dealing or learning to deal with emotions that are uncomfortable. What we do is often we approach those uncomfortable emotions from a space of broken or healing. So from a space of like, okay, this is not working, so I need to fix this, or this is broken, I need to heal myself, or I need to resolve this thing. So refrain from going into this pattern during this phase, because this phase is going to give you information about what requires tending and nurturing and support for the rest of the lunar cycle. So the idea is to not resolve anything, but to receive these emotions from a place of non-judgment. And when we are able to witness these dark feminine pieces of ourselves, and then we go into the new moon intention setting, then we become easily aware of what is it that we really need to release in order to create space to make intentions. We receive clues. So that's the gift of the lunar cycle. So I am going to share some energies that are present with this Cancer lunar cycle. And as I'm speaking, really feel into your body. This is a time also where your feminine energy is quite receptive. Your body is very intuitive. So really listen to the responses inside, not in your head, but inside. And then you can write it down or journal, take time. Allow your consciousness to flow through as I share, okay? So, hey sister, yeah. Hey, Mira is here. Lovely to see you, sister. Definitely feeling free from the need to resolve, but instead to be a witness. Yes, yes, goddess. So this phase is the dark moon, the dark feminine energy. It is all about the witness energy. And imagine how much space we create within our system, because we women are always trying to fix ourselves, fix something, resolve something, recreate. So we always constantly in a position or in a space to recreate ourselves. And it is a good thing, but oftentimes it's not required. Only your attention, your loving, kind attention to these emotions are required. And that's so freeing. It relieves, takes away some kind of burden from you. So the Cancer sign is a water sign. Yeah. Water sign, once again, the water means it's all about emotions. So our body is 80% water, and no wonder we might be feeling heightened emotions in this coming days. So until the new moon and the day after, you might feel heightened emotions of any kind. And this could be sometimes good emotions or sometimes really weird emotions, and you may think like, wow, I'm really getting worked up with certain emotions. It could be sometimes the thought of the emotions in itself, so in your mind. So for example, um, so I woke up having a thought about this one person, one of the persons that I in my life that I know, and I don't know why, but the thought of this person came in my mind, and I was feeling really angry and upset, and I was having this angry conversation with this person in my mind, and I just allowed myself to witness, and I was wondering like, wow, there is so much, there's something to resolve here, maybe with that person or with something that I have, like some kind of anger that I have inside regarding this matter situation. So sometimes the heightened emotions can be also experienced in our mind and not only in the body. Yeah, so the Cancer is all about inviting us to take responsibility of our emotions, to take time and invest in it. Cancer is the crab sign. So if you've seen crab on the beaches, then you would see that crab likes to walk sideways. It doesn't walk straight, and that's like really, really, really funny to watch. Seema, yeah, the need to fix them is the masculine. Yes, that is true. Sometimes we go doing the feminine work with a masculine approach. We think that, okay, I need to heal my inner child. So what do I do next? We go into the doing instead of thinking like, okay, let me just sit and witness this inner child. Let me just give her some attention. Yeah, and doing will come later. That's true. been feeling very connected to the element of water recently and desiring to work with her more. Yeah, so this lunar cycle is also an invitation for us to work with the water. Cancerians, two very dominant personalities, yeah, emotionally unavailable, blocked hearts, yeah. And oftentimes, you know, when we meet people with blocked hearts and um, we feel the blockage in their hearts, then it is also an invitation for us to look into where can I open my heart more, not towards them but in general, because as I told you, sister, that we live in a mirroring universe. People, especially our loved ones, people who are surrounding us, they are present in our lives for a reason. Nothing is coincidence and nothing is experimental. Everything is meant for a reason. So yeah, so the crab that I was talking about, so the crab walks sideways. You know, it doesn't walk straight, it walks sideways. So the funny thing about the crab, so this Cancerian energy, is that um, we can end up being you know, beating around the bush about some important things in our life just in order to be comfortable, to make it easier. So that's a very funny energy of the Cancer. And Cancer is also about a sense of belonging, connection, relationships, family, home, and all of that. So the Cancer, if you again see the crabs, they they are always in groups, and that's the essence that we are called to look into as well in our lives. So so what about the dark feminine energy? Yeah. So I'm gonna talk some of the dark qualities of this sign that is present right now, and feel into if there is something that is currently resonating with your life circumstance. Okay. So one of the dark qualities, the Cancer energy, is holding, collecting a lot of things, because again, Cancer sign is all about, you know, community, sense of belonging, sense of security. So in the physical realm, we may end up reflecting that by just collecting things, just to feel secure, just to feel that okay, we belong, we hoard. And another dark quality is our wounded child, ignoring our wounded child. So the emotions, the water that brings out the emotions, often during this time is an indication to look into our wounded child. Where have we abandoned or suppressed that inner girl? And again, we do that all the time. This journey of exploring femininity does not reach a destination, it is there with us throughout our lifetime. So that's the opportunity we have. And on the other hand, one other dark quality of Cancer is that we can become too dependent on our relationships by overgiving, overprotecting, for the fear of being left alone. Sister, will this be something you can access later? Yes, the replay is going to be available here, so you can access that later. You can come back, repeat, listen, journal, and then share with me. So the signs of the water. So water, different zodiac signs have water elements, and these are like usually highly emotional people. And now which direction the emotions are going, that's another whole thing to discuss. So let's do some inquiry for your dark feminine. Once again, these are some journaling questions that you can write down right now, or somebody can put it in the type, and take some time. Again, the reason we are discussing this is because over the next 2 days you get an opportunity with the cosmic energies that are present to allow yourself to feel into these questions, and before going into new moon intention setting. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some questions to reflect. And one of the ways that one of the teachers that taught me is that um, how to do this kind of journaling so that you allow yourself to actually become true to yourself. For example, one of the inquiries for your dark feminine this time could be that where are you becoming comfortable in your life? Okay, because again the crab energy is about becoming comfortable, taking the easy route, going sideways, not hitting things head on. So this could be a psychic reflection for us. So um, where where am I comfortable, becoming comfortable in my life and not going beyond my comfort zone? This is an inquiry that you can do. Now, the good way of doing this inquiry is, instead of asking, where am I becoming comfortable, um, you can twist this question and ask yourself this way: what might I believe that makes me resistant to move beyond my comfort zone? So, adding the question, what might I believe? This kind of tricks our subconscious mind. Instead of thinking, where am I becoming comfortable, where am I not taking risk, when you ask this kind of question, where am I not taking risk, you go into your head into getting a logical answer for that. Or when you put the question in a way that, what might I believe that is causing me to avoid taking risk? What might I believe that is making me resistant to moving beyond my comfort zone? So when you ask this question itself feels expansive if you actually think. Then you go into your belief system, because your belief system is not you. Your beliefs do not define you. You are whole. You are this divine. Beliefs do not define you. Beliefs define the choices, the decisions that you make on a regular basis. So we often confuse that we are what we believe. We make choices and decisions based on what we believe. But what we are is beyond what we believe. We cannot even believe what we are, because we are bigger than what our mind thinks of ourselves. So that's the way I like to do this kind of journaling. Okay, so one of the questions, so does it make sense? Let me know if it makes sense, because I'm dropping in some quantum physics reality here. So yeah, one of the questions you can ask yourself is that, what do I believe that is making me resistant to moving beyond my comfort zone? Is it some kind of fear that I have? So, this angle brings a lot of curiosity in investigating. So, what might I believe? Maybe I believe that I have this fear. Maybe I believe that I cannot do this. Maybe I believe that I'm a coward, or, whatever it is. So, explore what you believe, okay? Second question that you can ask your dark feminine is, what might I believe is making me overly protective? So think about what memories come in your mind, what thoughts come, what images come, because one of the dark qualities of the Cancer energy is becoming over possessive, hoarding. Yeah, so it could be also becoming overprotective of even ourselves. We do not allow ourselves to play bigger, because we're just protecting ourselves inside the shell, the crab's shell. Yeah. So we become overprotective. Another question to ask yourself, and this is the most important inquiry that you can do of your dark feminine, is about your soul needs. One of the dark qualities of the Cancer energy is that she likes comfort, security, this energy. So what happens is that in life we become this way. We for some reason end up chasing security instead of our soul needs. We go to a job that we don't like, we deny ourselves our inner needs, we do not give ourselves the time we need because we think that if we do the things that we have to do, that will make our lives secure first, and I will look after my soul needs later. So we try to play safe, to feel secure. So feel into if there is an element in your life that you think that you are playing safe to feel secure. And one of the things that is an ultimate truth is that we as human are part of nature. We as human are also a reflection of nature. So from nature we can learn a lot of attributes. Mother Nature is one of the biggest example of divine feminine that exists. And nature is not safe. If you really think, nature is powerful, nature is beautiful, nature is chaotic, nature is all the good things, is healing and stuff, but on the other hand also nature is not safe at times. So our life is not, we are not meant to be living safely, because the more we try to live safely, we will be suppressing our soul's desires. So the question to inquire is that what might I believe that would cause me to chase security instead of soul needs? Yeah, what might I believe that would cause me to chase security instead of soul needs? So sometimes it's the fear of future, sometimes it's the fear of losing the loved ones, sometimes it's the fear of being ridiculed. And again, all of that can really happen for sure. Okay, my voice is okay. I'm gonna try to sit a bit closer and check. Yeah. So so let me know if this is resonating, and yes, please do take some time and write down those questions, and allow yourself to journal, and not from a place of how to fix things, but from a space of just curiosity. Okay, let me know if my voice is better, if somebody can know sound fine. Okay, great. Thank you, sister. So again, some of the things that you can do is, and if you feel like, okay, I am feeling so much of emotions, anger, and especially we feel like emotions of anger that comes up during this time, some kind of anger towards ourselves or towards somebody else, and it could be someone that you start thinking of, that you met years ago even. And when you feel all of these intention emotions, try spending some time with water intentionally, allowing water to just wash yourself, wash your energy, cleanse yourself with your intentions, whatever it is. So you can do this in your shower, you can actually do this in your bath, or you can even go near a water source and just watch the water. It's one of the most therapeutic thing, the sound of the water, and feel into like, wow, I'm feeling all of this. I don't know what to do. And sometimes these Yeah. We talk about the co-creatress energy inside the feminine empress codes, where there is a way that you work with things in your life, and then there are assignments that you give to the source energy, for some things that you don't know. Because how long will we try to do everything ourselves? And we want to do so many things, and we want to do big things, and we get tired doing it all ourselves, figuring it out all ourselves. We don't have to. We can offer invocations, prayers that I don't know what to do. Please lead me. So you can offer this prayer to the water. Yeah. So let me know if you are resonating to any of this. So these are some of the inquiries with the dark feminine that I invite you to do in the next couple of days, to make the most of this lunar cycle. So then on the 9th of July, when we go into the new moon, then you get an opportunity to feel into that, okay, I've recognized these things, these beliefs that I want to release, and instead I want to set new intentions. Yeah. But it's important that we give ourselves the time to feel it, witness it, and it begins to move in itself. And life will present you opportunities when you witness it in such um, genuine and honest ways. Yeah, anger towards, yeah, resentment. Yes, that is true. You feel resentment because there are often times that you know that you shouldn't have done something for somebody and you did it, and there you go. Resentment happens when we overgive. So that's the energy that is attached with resentment. So that's all I wanted to share today, sisters. I hope some of these dark feminine energies made sense to you, and you can utilize this, you can work with this. I want to do some oracle reading for anyone who is interested. So I like to use this particular one during the dark moon phase, and this is a very interesting card deck. It's very simple and very interesting. And for those of you who are into cards and oracle, then you know how um, these work. They always work because they respond to your energy, not the question that you have in your head. So this is a card deck with, it's got the light and shadow aspects, and these are just one words that you pull out. Yes, sister, I am going to pull out a card for you, and let me know if this resonates. Let me just, okay, here you go. Obsessive. So these cards are filled with several dark qualities. They call it the shadow traits. And our invitation here is to feel into, once again, where are we obsessing in our life that is